Our capstone project focused on the relationship between blood type and contraction and severity of COVID-19.
Before conducting our own research on the relationship between blood type and the contraction of COVID-19, we wanted to complete some of our own research on literature that has already been published regarding this topic. So although COVID is a fairly new virus, there has been research done that specifically explores the relationship between blood type and the risk and severity of contraction. One study found that individuals with blood type A were more likely to contract COVID, while another study found that people with the O blood group were less likely to contract COVID. Additionally, a lot of research has been done reviewing the vaccination strategies to help combat COVID. One study found that just one dose of the vaccine did induce antibodies against the Delta and the authentic strain of the virus. Additionally, other comorbidities play a role in the likelihood of contracting COVID and the severity of the contraction. For example, diabetes can increase the risk of mortality due to the suppressed immune functions that come along with it. These are just a few of the things that we found that helped guide our research and help us make predictions for our own.
The purpose of this study is to determine the relationship between the contraction rate and severity of COVID-19 and blood type. For the study population, we had used anybody who was greater than 16 years old, and we did that by posting it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. And then we were trying to reach college students, family members, and colleagues.
We concluded that the best way to collect data would be through a survey. REDCap was used to collect a convenient sample via a link sent to many different groups. Data was collected on the following personal information: demographics, blood type, vaccination status, COVID-19 contraction status and symptoms, precautions taken against COVID-19, and health concerns. Data that was collected in regard to symptom severity was measured on a scale from 0 to 5, 0 being symptoms not present, 1 being light or minimal, 2, 3 being moderate or partial, 4, and then 5 as severe or complete.
While we haven't finished collecting data yet, we have made a few graphs based on the 159 people who have completed the survey so far. When comparing blood type to COVID contraction, we have noticed that O positive is the most common blood type, and people with type A blood seem to be more likely to test positive for COVID. The next graph we created compares blood type to gender. We calculated the standard deviation and mean to show the number of people in each blood type group. The standard deviation was 22.12 and the mean was 18.11 people. So far, AB negative and B negative blood types have only been selected by males. Finally, we are looking at blood type and vaccination status. Participants with O positive blood currently have the highest percentage of people who are fully vaccinated and boosted. We expect these findings to continue as we gather more data.
I wanted to first talk about sampling in reference to the limitations of our study. The issue with our sampling was that it was only limited to those with internet access due to the format of our survey being online. In addition, our goal was to get participants who were 16 years and older. However, there was not much diversity in ages, as most of the participants seemed to be college students with very few other ages in the data. Another issue that we faced was that our survey required self-reporting, which could have resulted in varying opinions on the severity of symptoms. After collecting our data, we also noticed that not many participants had known their blood type. Due to that lack of knowledge, it decreased the number of participants whose data was usable. Having a larger sample size would have also been more beneficial to our study. Another limitation to consider would be the study type. Since we used a cross-sectional study, we collected data at a specific time. However, if we used a longitudinal study, we wouldn't have had to rely on people's memory of their symptoms and could have more closely followed people's progress in recovering from COVID-19.